Okay, let's start this again. I had to get pictures. It's just so beautiful. And I didn't want to miss that over there. So, day 47, true love. So, this morning I started the book of 1 Samuel. And on the heels of this beautiful relationships between Ruth and Naomi and Boaz, even when God is in the picture and the center of that and weaved into the fabric of that, how then we humans have a chance at having good relationships. And then when that piece is missing, you can see how not only off track we get, but we get it completely backwards because we're so focused on ourselves and meeting our own needs and even trying to meet other needs, but through the lens with which we see things. Doesn't work. So we're introduced to Peninnah, Hannah, and Elkanah. So we've got a threesome again. 2 women, 1 dude, and sorry, we're getting ready to pass the walkers here, and the dog is saying hi to me. So, hi, good morning. So, yeah, it's nice enough that people are going to start getting out walking. That's great. So how did they get this wrong? What were they missing? True love? No, that wasn't happening over here. But they were trying. You could see hints of them trying. So rather than a mother-daughter relationship or mother and daughter-in-law relationship, mother-in-law, we have 2 women married to the same dude. And that was common back then. So that's their normal world. Those were their expectations. Nothing unusual there. And one, Peninnah, has been able to have children. And Hannah hasn't been able to. And this is where they're kind of finding their identity and proof of their love from, for themselves and the husband. And he's caught in the middle, and he's kind of clueless, I think, or ignorant. He's misguided in trying to meet these ladies' needs. He just doesn't get it. So he's in love with Hannah. That is kind of apparent from the text. And he even says at one point, why are you so sad? You have me. Aren't I enough? And maybe in some sense that was true. So he was really trying his best to meet her needs of love. And meanwhile, also happening in the background, and the reason he said that is because Peninnah is jealous that she has the love of this Elkanah that Hannah does, and she doesn't. But she's got all the kids. So they all have something. The 2 women have what the other one wants. They want what the other one has. Sorry, I said that backwards. But do you think Peninnah would actually trade her children? No, she just wants it all. She wants the love of the husband and all the kids. And so does Hannah. She wants kids and her husband's love. It's not enough. It's not enough. So, because they're focused, they can't see past their own noses. That saying, cut off your nose to spite your face. So they're caught in this tug of war. Peninnah is sort of the aggressor. Hannah is just very distraught and sad about it. Like leave me alone. Can't you see how much this is bothering me? And just, she handles it by withdrawing and becoming sad and depressed. And Elkanah is he was probably ignoring Peninnah or not giving her the attention. If he had just given her a little affection and attention, it might have satisfied her need, which then might have caused her to treat Hannah nicer. And then Hannah might have been able to bear the burden of no children. If they had all were on the right track and had God in the picture, God would have been able to illuminate and give his perspective in addition to their own. And then we have a chance at true love. But we saw demonstrated with Naomi, Ruth, and Boaz. Boaz was paying attention. You could see that all over that story. Like, he was paying attention. So here we have a husband, even though he's trying to pay attention, he's not doing it the right way. He's so focused and so in love in his own way with Hannah that he's spending all his time over there consoling her, which is just firing Peninnah up and making her mad. And then she's taking it out on Hannah. And then Hannah, poor Hannah's just getting beat up, and she can't see past her own nose and focus on the fact that she is loved and try to be satisfied with that. No. So eventually she wises up and says, oh, maybe I'm missing something here. Maybe I'm not going to God enough. And so we see her at the tabernacle on her face, like crying out, like in such a crazy way, such a pure way, that Eli, the priest there, actually thinks that she's drunk. Like, that's how much she's like on her knees in prayer, like crying out to God, going, I can't do this. She finally says, I give up, as she surrenders, like we talked about yesterday. And don't you know it, she has a child. And she dedicates, and in her prayer, she said, if you will grant this desire of my heart, I pledge my love to you. I pledge my son to you. You know, I am yours. You can have my first child. He will be dedicated to the Lord. And there you go. Samuel, like everybody knows who Samuel is in the Bible. Well, I shouldn't say that. Anybody kind of halfway familiar with the Bible probably knows that name. So we are going into the age of kings. So, wow, the sun is beautiful. Let me look at that. Beautiful. So true love, and how and of course I had to stop and think, well, hold, you know, the Bible is like a mirror you can hold up to your face, and when you have these like little epiphanies and insights, hey, good morning, sunshine yourself. Hey, Melissa. When we are getting off track and getting it wrong, you know, we can read this. And so I had to sit there and meditate and go like, okay, where am I doing this? Like, if this came to my attention, I'm probably guilty of it. Am I right? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So there are definitely, it shines some lights. I come from a very dysfunctional family of origin that created a lot of competition between the sisters, or misunderstandings, not really getting each other, divorce, you know, all the fallout from this. Like, it's everywhere in my life. And then having a little bit of trouble with my own mother-in-law, and how my husband, God bless his heart, he tries, but sometimes I think he's a little clueless too, and might have even unwittingly contributed to some of that tension. So we all have something to learn from this. And you can look in your own lives, and if you've got relationships that are off track. Now, all relationships don't need to be on track. Like, let's make that perfectly clear, because we'll learn soon that it's not all rainbows and sunshine for, you know, Hannah and Peninnah after this, just because Hannah kind of gets a clue. It's still trouble. But we can't, so some relationships are toxic and they need to go. You need to have healthy boundaries. I think that's where we Christians and we Christian women sometimes get a really mixed message from the Bible about what it means to be selfless and serving and have a servant's heart. And we, in our own strength, will kind of pour ourselves out and be depleted and get it all wrong, because we're trying to do it in our own strength. We haven't gone to the Lord first. We can only be truly selfless when we're kind of filled with Him and He's meeting that need and His love. But if we're trying to do it all on our own, boy, I mean, you can just see the juxtaposition. Go read Ruth and the first couple of chapters of 1 Samuel, and you'll see it like plain as day. Right way, wrong way. True love, misguided love. And it makes me think of, I'll leave you with this, but of course, the reason I picked the words true love, I am a Princess Bride fan, and I love that movie. As silly as it is, there's some really good nuggets in there. And even Buttercup and Wesley get it wrong. And they fight because he comes back to town and she's getting married, and he gets really jealous and angry. He's like, you didn't save yourself for me. Here you are. You've loved another. You're going to get married. Like, he didn't get it. He wasn't there. So he just sees what's happening on the surface, and he totally goes ballistic. He's mean to the love is the one he pledges to love. And he's accusing her of all these things, and then before she knows who it really is, he's, dressed as the Dread Pirate Roberts. She pushes him, that dramatic scene, and down on the wave, tumbling down the hill, he goes, true love or something. There's a couple of times where they use that. And no, he says, as you wish. How could I forget that? And then she realizes, because that's their code language for how much I love you. And then she goes, oh, my sweet Leslie, and throws herself down the hill. And then later, when he's almost dead, mostly dead, not all dead, and they're trying to revive him, and he said, what's worth living for? And he goes, true love. So there's my rendition and my little bit of silliness into my brain. And how when we get it right, love really can kind of save the day, true love. But when we're misguided and we're focused on, well, I'm trying to do it right here, and I'm focused on just meeting my needs through love and trying to meet somebody else's need for love through my own actions, how off track we can get. And what a mess we create. And then finally, of course, when the person who knows better does better, things get better. Hey, Julie. Oh man, I know it's got to be, I'm missing the Florida sunshine right now. But it is pretty and it's warm enough. We're going to have one warm day here in Kentucky before it gets cold again. And so I don't have my heavy coat on today, just a little vest to keep me warm. So I'm going to sign off for now. For those of you that tuned in late, you can just go back and catch up and enjoy my little rendition of Princess Bride there at the end. Bye.